Hey, what's up guys? We are back, and what we're going to be doing today is very special because this has been a long time coming. We're going to be talking about a DTF printer and why you might want this particular one for your home setup, shop, or garage. And we're going to talk about it right after the break. So what's up guys? It's been a very long time since we kind of discussed this subject, DTF. We talk about it in regards to transfers, but we haven't really discussed it in regards to equipment. Now, this has always been a touchy subject for me because for me it just seemed like it was easier to just order them sometimes, and it still is, depending on what company you're ordering from. Some can charge you an arm and a leg, and some can be your best friend. But there are those circumstances where sometimes I just need it now, or sometimes I just want to be able to print my own stuff when I want it, when I need it, and I know that I can control the quality of what I'm printing. Now, being here at my home, a lot of you know that I gave up construction to be able to work from home and pursue the passion I love of being able to print clothing and custom apparel for other companies. So I transitioned from the construction world into printing and apparel, but more so something that was doable. So in this case, we're featuring the new Prestige R2 printer. Now, why did I specifically choose this printer? Because of its form factor. When it comes to running shops, I don't want to run a big, huge printer. I just don't. I don't have the room for it. So this being a small form factor printer is allowing me to utilize a small space either in my home, whether it's maybe it's a bedroom, or it's a small section within my garage that I can control temperature-wise. So I mean, it'd be something as simple as maybe creating a partition, couple walls in a room. But either way, you can run this printer in any scenario that you might have. And really quickly, I'll show you a picture of what we're talking about here. This is the printer. So this is the Prestige R2. You see it's a very small form factor. I believe the width on this thing, the actual width, is coming in at around 33 inches wide. Okay. Now the printer itself, not including the ink box on the back, the printer itself front to back is about 16 inches deep. If you were to include the actual ink container in the back of this thing, as you see here, as well as the small lip on the front of the printer, which extends about 1.5 inches, you're probably looking at a total width of just under 23 inches at around 22 3/4 almost. So very nice form factor when it comes to running. And again, the other reason why I chose this, a industrial commercial ready system. Okay, this thing will handle a lot of printing every single day. It's a dual head system, easy to maintain, easy to operate, and it's not going to really give me any problems from what I've researched with this printer and what I've personally seen on how this thing operates. The other shop where we work out of, 24-inch printers all day long. Those things run like a beast all day long. This is basically a little miniature version of that at 13 inches. Now, why did I choose 13 inches? In this series, the Prestige name itself, they have different style printer sizes. So their highest being 24. They have one at 16 inches, one at 13 inches, and then in your basic letter size, 8.5 by 11. I believe they call that the A4. I didn't want the A4 for one reason, because A4 is too small for me. Now, one thing you need to consider is anytime you have a width dimension, so let's just say 13 inches wide, right? You have to account for buffering on the sides of that sheet. So the buffering on the sides would be all this spacing kind of right here on the sides. Now you want to be able to allow about 1/2 inch on both left and right. So if it's a 13-inch roll, your printable area is going to be 12 inches wide. Okay. You could try to max that out, but why would you want to create possible problems by doing so? just know that that's what it's going to be, 12 inches. Now, when it comes to A4, you're kind of stuck. If you consider 8.5, subtract that 1 inch, you can only do 7.5 wide or 7.5 high if you turn it horizontal on your prints. So you're at a maximum there. And as well, if you take the 11 inches, because typically 8.5 by 11, you can't go any larger than 10 inches. Now, if you're doing little kids clothing or only very small shirts, that can be doable for you, okay? For me, it's not. I run a 2X myself on shirt sizes. So I'm at a minimum, when it comes to my fronts, anywhere from 11 to 13 inches wide on my fronts. Let's just take this print, for example. This is about a 12. Now, if you take my shirt, even at 12, that's pretty wide, right? Here's another one. This one here, I got a little ruler right here on my table. This one here alone is running at about 11 inches wide. Okay, still, that's a pretty big image for a front. So when it comes to fronts, you're always at about 11, usually 13 inches is the maximum I'll go for fronts, okay? And that's even on like a 2X. If you're getting more into like a 3, 4, 5, 6XL shirt, then you're gonna be maybe pushing into a 14. When it comes to the backs of shirts though, that's why I chose this particular printer, the Prestige R2. 13 inches wide, but however long I want, because it's a roll. Now, if I want to go 13 inches wide by 18 inches, 20 inches, 17, I can. Also, if I want to go wider, say 15 inches wide on the back, then all I got to do is keep my height under 13 inches. If you can do a 12 by 15 inch design on the back of, say, a hoodie or a t-shirt, you're pretty good. So for the majority of stuff that I'm going to do, this one is perfect. It fulfills my needs. It gets everything I need done. And I typically, don't go over 17, 18 inches, when it comes to height on the back of a shirt. And that's if you're doing like something really beachy or you're doing a skateboard style shirt, but you'll have to keep it at 12 inches by whatever length. Now, you could separate those designs very easily, but if you really want to go wider than 12 inches, then you would go up to the 16-inch model of this printer versus the 13-inch model. But for the majority of you that are out there, most of you probably are never going to go over a 2XL. So this is a great size for everyone and a great middle point option choosing the Prestige R2 because it has all the functionality of industrial quality, industrial workability. I mean, this thing will be a workhorse and you'll be able to get some stuff done. If you want to see more details about this machine, I'm going to leave my affiliate link in the description. That way you can click on the combo that I got here, but you're going to see very detailed information as far as what this printer is capable of and what it can do. Now, personally, I've seen this thing in action in Long Beach at Impressions just recently because we were also there as a vendor, and I knew that this printer would be there and I wanted to see it in action. And I'll tell you one thing, this was by far one of the most popular printers that people were looking at because one of its price point. You're talking the full combo, all the ink, all the powder, the shaker dryer machine, the printer itself, the filtration system. You're talking at just a little over 10 grand. So it's a wonderful setup to be able to buy a printer that's designed for DTF and it has local technical support. That's the biggest thing for me is the local tech support and one of the reasons why I bought this. One thing that we're talking about when it comes to DTF is the quality of the prints. Now, I know from visually seeing this printer in action, it handles color beautifully. But when it comes to how you program your prints, the color, everything, that has more to do about how you program your software more than the printer itself. With Supreme Color DTF transfers, we're able to get those RGB-like colors and people can submit RGB art to us to be able to handle that stuff. So it'll kind of be the same with this, is going into the software is what we're going to focus on with this printer. Now, this is going to be a series of videos, guys, because there's a lot of information about this and I can't do it all. And if this video is more than 20 minutes, not a lot of people are going to watch it. So we want to try to keep these videos, you know, under 15 minutes, you know, maybe 18 at the most in this series, but we want to try to get as technical as we can and show you every nook and cranny when it comes to this machine, because there's a lot of cool stuff on this machine. So the next video that will be at the end of this one is going to delve into the equipment itself and start showing you, you know, the doors opening and all the stuff that you can get to with this machine, that really show you why you want a machine that's dedicated and designed around DTF printing. So definitely watch the next video, part 2 in this series. That way you see that video. But when it comes to technical support, you definitely want that support here in the States. When your printer goes down, you want to know that if you can, you want to get a hold of that company as fast as you can to get tech support out, because we've had print heads go out and shoot. The fact that they can get there same day is great to have you back up and running and you're getting your transfers out. Because if you're delaying your transfers as a company, you're going to be looking pretty stupid if you can't fulfill your transfers when you say you're fulfilling them. So having the tech support is great when it's here in the States. I highly recommend it. It's worth spending the extra money to be able to have that capability. Because the last thing you want to do is buy your printer overseas. Yes, you can do that. Yes, you'll save a few $1,000s. But is it going to be worth it headache-wise? When I need tech support now, I've got to wait a whole 24 hours or longer because of the time difference. And even then, it's only always going to be over video conferencing, and you're the one that's going to always have to do the work. So that means you now have to teach yourself how to be a technical engineer when it comes to working on these printers, and this is something you're going to need to know. Whereas if you're buying your stuff here in the States, and the benefit for me is this company is local. I mean, they're here in California. You can call them, either get someone out, or you can physically go down there and get some training, but you can get the service faster than you would overseas. So one of the reasons why I highly recommend spend the money and just get the support here. It'll really relieve the headaches of the maintenance aspects of things. Now, one thing that's great about this company is they've given you everything you need. Let me grab it. So Pro World and this setup gives you everything you need here in this sheet. So you get this with the printer. So it's got a lot of tech support, a bunch of QR codes. So they've already created a lot of videos around this printer, as well as they have Zoom conferencing that you will be able to join in on and get some training on this machine. You can ask questions, they have more training, but they've got a plethora of videos here on this machine that teach you everything from the maintenance of it, the cleaning of it, the overall view of it, how to operate software aspect of it. And then they're going to be coming out with the dryer and shaker aspect of it. So that is key, as well as they have a dedicated forum when it comes to this machine itself. So you've got a forum, you've got videos, you've got support, you've got tech. Just beautiful all the way down the line. Even when I was looking at my laser engraving machine, which is here to my left, having support here in the States through the forums, through people that have the equipment, is huge. Now mine doesn't have as much as, like, say, Thunder or OwnTech does, but still they're all relatively the same. But the fact that they've created an environment around this brand is great. So whether you have the small to the large setup, they've created that environment for you. So that is good, and I don't see it going away anytime soon. Multiple softwares from CAD-Link to DigiRip, and then the R2 hosting software. Operation, maintenance, setup, troubleshooting. Watch more videos. They're all here in QR codes. Join our tech support channel. So dedicated channel through Slack is what you can do with this. Manuals, install software, and the drive, all right here. And they even laminated this thing, which is pretty darn cool. So you can pin this next to your printer, which I thought is pretty cool. It's a nice touch. It shows quality in that regard. Very awesome. Great warranties. Like I said, again, you're running dual Epson print heads in this thing. Same type of print heads that are running in the big boys, the 24s. So that's pretty awesome stuff there. But to be able to, again, get all the detail in your prints that you're just, you know, not going to get screen printing. I mean, you'll get it, but man, you can really get some super fine detail when it comes to DTF printing. But the fact that, again, this is a 13-inch transfer here. But look at all the transfers. I mean, I think this is a little over 13 transfers, you know, in one little 13 by 13 piece right here. I mean, that's a lot of money. That's 25, 25, 25, 25, you know, 25 bucks a hat. You know, 13 times 25, that's how much that tiny little sheet can make you. So having a machine like this is great for just concepts too. You know, you're at the house, you got an idea, man, I'm gonna go print that real quick, put it on a shirt and boom. You know, if you wanna create a concept for maybe a vendoring spot that you're doing, you can create some concept hoodies, t-shirts, hats, whatever, and then last minute, boom, you can go and do that. Because not every company is open on the weekends, right? So it's another reason why I decided too that having a small form factor machine here at the house would be a great option. So hey, glad you guys stopped on by. We got a lot more information on this printer, so definitely tune in, subscribe, like, whatever you gotta do, it doesn't matter. What we talk about is all the cool stuff in the industry, but we keep it real. So my name is James, this is Esentl, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, guys.